What's going on, everybody? It's the Bag of Tricks here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be following up on the video I made last year where I went over my top 3 terrain parks in North America. This isn't going to be a yearly video because I doubt every single year I'm going to go to a new terrain park that supplants a previous terrain park that was on the list. That just seems unrealistic, but this year that may have happened. No spoilers, but that may have happened. For the first time ever, I got to go out west on 2 separate trips in the same season. Got to go back out to Lake Tahoe and check out North Star, which was #1 on my list last year. And then later on in the year, I made another trip out to Colorado, and that was the first time I've ever been out to Colorado and got to ski 2 pretty well-known, pretty popular terrain parks. You might have heard of them before. Keystone Area 51, as well as Woodward Copper. So did these trips shake up the list? Let's hop right into it. First disclaimer is that I have not been to every single terrain park in North America, not even close. I said this last year, the same thing applies this year. There's so many terrain parks out there that I want to get to, that I think look amazing, that I just haven't had a chance to get to yet, that could very well fall on this list. So if your favorite one is not on the list, it's probably because I just didn't get a chance to go there. So that's the first disclaimer. The second disclaimer is the way I rank this, it's like my personal preference, right? And for me, a really good terrain park has features for every single skill level of skier. My channel is all about teaching people how to get better at park skiing, so when I go to a park, I'm thinking, okay, for the average park skier, does this have features that they would enjoy, be able to hit, be able to learn stuff on, and not be terrified of? On the other end of the spectrum, for a very, very good park skier, does this park have enough big features that a extremely good park skier wouldn't be getting bored or saying, man, I wish there was a jump over 20 feet here, you know, stuff like that. So that's what I'm thinking of, is diversity of features, the amount of features, the difficulty level of all the features. And then you got to take into consideration the quality of the features, how the park is set up, where it's located on the mountain, what the lift ride is like, what the vibes are like, even what the weather is like, because that plays an important role as well. You know, like a Colorado terrain park where it's sunny all the time and you get beautiful weather and beautiful conditions might be more preferable than a Vermont terrain park where it's super, super icy and deadly. So keep that in mind. Without further ado, did the list get shaken up? Last year, we ranked the top 3 terrain parks in North America as #3, Park City, #2, Mount St. Louis Moonstone, and #1 was North Star in Tahoe. So did that change? Drum roll, please. So in our #3 spot for 2022-2023, we have Mount St. Louis Moonstone, and that means Park City got bumped off of the list. So if you guys don't know, Mount St. Louis Moonstone is a very small mountain up in Ontario. It's jam-packed full of features. Hot lap central. You got 1,000,000 hits per lap. The lift ride was super quick. It was a high-speed quad. There was features for every single skill level, all the way from, you know, a 2-foot jump to 60-foot booters. There's people learning how to hit their first jump, and there's people learning how to throw their first double cork. While I was there, I saw it all. It was unbelievable, so fun. It was well maintained, and I mean, I just can't get over the fact that a mountain that small had that high quality of a park. It was absolutely amazing. So it's still at #3 on my list, but what I really want to talk about is why did Park City get bumped off of the list? So Park City obviously is a very popular skiing terrain park, maybe the most popular ski park in the world. You get, on the average day, there's pros all over the place skiing at Park City. That right there kind of points out why, for me, it's not in the top 3. If you're a professional skier, if you're an elite skier, if you're a super good park skier and you want the best features for your skill level, then yes, I think Park City is probably the place to be. But if you're somebody like me, or a little bit newer to park than me, Park City doesn't really offer the progression features that you would want. Now, after 2 days of skiing there, I started to get used to the size of things, and I started to think, like, yeah, maybe in a week of skiing here, I would feel comfortable starting to throw tricks on these jumps, on these rails and stuff like that. But it's the fact that it was gonna take me a week to adjust to the size of things that was the problem. The features were huge. They're built for professional riders. It's a playground for pros, and it feels that way. Now, everything is beautifully maintained. It's a phenomenal park, but compared to a lot of these other options on the list, there's just not the progression features that you would want to see. So I couldn't go and recommend this to the average park skier. You know, somebody that I don't know your skill level. If you ask me what terrain park should I go to, I can't say Park City because I don't know. It might be too big for you. It might be too scary. It might be no fun in that case. And know, that plays a very important role to what I want to put on this list. So that is why Park City gets the bump this year. So moving on from there, this was tough. Keystone Area 51 was super fun, but it just didn't quite make the list. It's a very honorable mention. It's the legendary place. I think if you're like me who grew up watching edits from Area 51, then yeah, it's probably worth it to go check out, but did not make the list. So now it's between North Star and Woodward Copper for the #1 spot. At number 2, getting bumped off the pedestal from last year, North Star Tahoe. This was my second year going to North Star. I went back in, I think, 2018 or 2019 the first time. North Star is still an amazing terrain park. I mean, the single lap that you get down Pinball is amazing. I mean, it might be the longest that you can get anywhere. Don't quote me on it, but it was pretty insane. It was pretty awesome. And it's still awesome. I love North Star. I would go ski there. If that was my home mountain for the rest of my life, I would be perfectly content because the park is amazing. Now, what I will say about North Star is it seems like it takes longer to get everything ramped up than other terrain parks out there. It seems like this might be a Vail Resorts thing, it might not be, but it seems like the park isn't really the priority there, whereas Copper, which is obviously number 1 on the list, they pump this stuff out as fast as they possibly can, and they get the park firing early in the season. So when we went to North Star this year, we went in January, and that is still, pretty early in the season, and they kind of had a rough year for snowfall and whatnot, but compared to what I saw at North Star the first time I went, which was in March of 2018, it was very, very different. There was a noticeable decrease in the amount of features at North Star. Their main pro line that's right under the lift, it was non-existent. It wasn't there. It wasn't built yet. It looked like they were starting to work on it, but it wasn't even close to being ready to ride. Pinball, which used to have a small jump line followed by a pretty medium jump line, and then followed by a ton of rails after the second jump line, with obviously stuff at the top and in between those jump lines as well. That second jump line also wasn't there. There was one jump, and it was a good medium-sized jump. It was the biggest jump that they had open, but the jump line wasn't there, and I was super shocked by that because I was pumped to hit that jump line again. It was super fun. And yeah, I just feel like it takes so long to get ramped up, but once it's fully firing, I think it's still gonna be #1 for me. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the length of that park, the amount of hits you can get in a row is just unreal. Very good progression. It works. You work your way up from literally flat tubes that are in the snow to like pro level features at the end if you want it. So it was super, super good for all skill levels. And to top it off, you're in Lake Tahoe, man. There's nothing better than skiing in Lake Tahoe. So number 2 is North Star this year, which makes #1 Woodward Copper. This was my first time ever going to Woodward Copper. Woodward does a very good job, no matter what park you're going to, of making it progression friendly, because that is Woodward's thing. Like, they're trying to get people and teach people how to get better at the terrain park, and nowhere does it better that I've been than Woodward Copper. Just the amount of features and the diversity of the size of the features was unreal. I mean, there's a reason why it's so popular and so many people go there to train and get better. Plus, they have the Woodward barn at the bottom that I didn't get a chance to go into, but I know there's trampolines and all kinds of stuff in there to help you get better as well. So you add all that up, and it's just, it's an amazing experience. I mean, there's pro level features, there's pros all over the place. It's a very popular hub for skiers. There's medium-sized features, small features. Honestly, I think they had more features at Woodward Copper than any other park that I've been to, including Mount St. Louis, including a fully firing North Star. It was insane. There is no chance I even hit half of the features while I was there. I got to ski there for a full day. We did the park all day, and yeah, man, there's no way I got close. But for me, it was at the very end of the season. I just wanted to get out of there without getting hurt, but if I had to choose a park to go to where I wanted to get better and improve and work my way up from the smallest rail up to the biggest rails and biggest jumps, that is where I would go. And I think for any skill level of park skier, there is something for you there. There is a lot of things. Let me rephrase that. There is a lot of things for you there. And I don't think any park skier would be disappointed with that setup. They have their own lift spinning for it. It was phenomenal. I mean, I had a feeling just based on the videos I've seen, it's the place to be if you want to get better, if you want to learn, if you wanted to progress, and that was confirmed when I went there. I mean, and I was there when they didn't even have their full progression jump line set up. Usually they have like a 5 jump line on the right, and when I was there it was only 3 jumps because they were doing like a USASA slopestyle event. So some of the progression stuff wasn't even there when I was skiing, and it was still the best progression park I've ever been to. Had a blast, can't wait to get back out there. So there it is, guys, my top 3. Yes, it's gotten shaken up. Number 1, Woodward Copper. Number 2, North Star Tahoe. And number 3, Mount St. Louis Moonstone, the little guy punching above its weight, still in the top 3. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about anything around this list or any other terrain parks, leave them down below in the comments. I will try to get to them. I'm stoked for this season, man. Hopefully I get to experience a few more terrain parks. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, and make sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Peace.